I'm sorry. You mean to tell me not only that the return of night was your doing, but that you hail from another world as well?
Yep, we got isekai'd.
Everything we told you, of the source, the shards, the 7 umbral calamities, all of it is true. I realize how fantastical it sounds, and I would not blame you for doubting our testimony. But given your expertise, you must surely have noted the peculiar nature of their souls.
Any other time and I would have dismissed your stories as balderdash and flummery. But upon closer inspection, 'tis plain their souls are far denser than is normal, and that they do not possess true bodies. Save you. Your body is your own, and your soul is the densest of them all.
As I said before, were it not for their heroism, the skies over Norvrant would still be awash with light, the realm yet at the mercy of Vorthri and the Sin Eaters. After all they have done for our home, seeing them safely back to their own, it seems the very least we can do.
Your tale is intriguing. Yes, very intriguing indeed. Simply to hear it is fitting payment in itself. As for your friends, I can but agree. Their valorous deeds on behalf of Norvrant are deserving of recognition, of their own fitting payment.
You will help us then?
I will. I would see my knowledge put to good use for a change. I do have one condition, however. I am not the spry young Nu Mou I once was. As such, I will require assistance in my fieldwork and testing.
It would be our pleasure. We'll be laboring for our own benefit after all.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do this voice, aren't I?
What is this voice?
You have spun quite a tale, but tell me, have you given any thought as to how you might return to your world?
The Nu Mou voice. I am trying my best. You can boo me later.
White aura sight, you say? An intriguing proposition. But one which fails to account for the present state of your souls. They have become highly charged, likely as a consequence of having maintained tangible forms for so long. In such an energetic, unstable state, there is no telling what may happen to their souls within the aura sight. They could very well become immutable to transference, never to be restored to their bodies.
Then, would it be possible to force our souls into a state of dormancy prior to transference?
In theory, yes. But a soul is not a candle to be snuffed out and relit on a whim.
Well, that sounds ominous. What exactly would rendering our souls dormant entail?
In order to maintain a corporeal form, your souls constantly draw aether from your surroundings. This process must be halted, and the resulting surfeit of aether removed. Your minds would ultimately be separated from these faux bodies of yours, rendering you incapable of interacting with the world around you. A cruel fate under normal circumstances, but one which will be rectified upon your return home.
Leaving lifeless husks, like those poor souls at the inn at Journey's Head. Corrupted by the Sin Eaters, their aether made stagnant by the light.
Corrupted? Stagnant? Might I see these unfortunate individuals?
Why? You think you might be able to help them?
I might, or I might not. But I shan't know for sure until I have seen their condition firsthand.
And I would be glad to take you to them, on the understanding that you won't do anything which might increase their suffering.
It was my faith in man I lost, not my compassion.
Well, I see no need for all of us to accompany you. While you escort our guests to the inn, I will assist Urianche in creating the requisite aura site. I believe my talents will be better applied to that endeavor as well. Might I leave the three of you to assist Beq Lugg as necessary? Let us make for Amarang then.
So this is Halric, is it? Yes, his etheric balance leans perilously towards the light. Towards stasis.
What do you suppose will happen to him?
Not too bright, are you, boy? The same as all poor souls corrupted by the light. He will become a sin eater.
You don't know that. We defeated the Wardens and banished the light from the night sky. Halric was completely unresponsive before, but now... Well, now he mumbled.
Then perhaps there is yet hope. If I may, there is a treatment I wish to administer to the patients.
What sort of treatment?
In the course of my studies of the soul, I once created a tonic which could temporarily stimulate the aether in one's body. After some refinement, it came to be used by the Knights of Obert. Then, for far darker purposes. Lest it fall into the wrong hands, I swore never again to make it. But for their sakes, I will break that oath. It is not like to reverse the stagnation, mind you, but it should offer some measure of relief. Now then, have you noted any change in the patients?
A notable rise in body temperature and increased motor function. In most of the patients, at least. The more severely afflicted show no response.
As I fear, then, 'tis true that with the restoration of night, the corrupting influence of light will no longer grow. And yes, their bodies will naturally return to equilibrium given time. But this holds true only for their corporeal ether. Their incorporeal ether, that of the soul, is not so easily mended.
Which is why those in the later stages of corruption, like Halric, appear unaffected by Otonic.
Precisely. The boy's soul is too far gone, his mind held together by the finest of threads. There is a chance he may one day recover, of course, but it could take years, decades even.
By the gods, he could wait to find himself an old man. A fine reward for his persistence. The opportunity to mourn the life he never had a chance to live. No, there must be something we can do. Look, I realize this is not why we petitioned your aid, but do you think it possible we can find a way to hasten their recovery?
Maybe. Nor do I think it impossible that in treating them we might learn something of relevance to your own predicament. I suspect the Crystal Exarch has told you of my past. That I was once a mage at the royal court of Vorbert, and that soulcraft was my field of study. The tonic you administer to the patients here is one of the fruits of my labors. I hope to do great things for the kingdom. But in the end, my knowledge brought only suffering, a plague the likes of which none had ever seen. In the hands of unscrupulous men, what should have been my greatest triumph instead became my greatest shame.
At least the Warriors of Light brought those responsible to justice. I guess these are dialogues that only appear if you've done the role quests through.
Aye, that they did. I shudder to think what might have happened had they not. But let us return to the task at hand, finding a means by which we might revitalize these people's incorporeal ether.
You think it can be done?
Were the sky still ablaze with the primordial light, I would call it an exercise in futility. But now we may have a chance. The method I have in mind will entail the conjuring of a familiar. They are able to amplify the energies poured into them, making them the perfect conduit for the ether revitalizing magics we will ultimately employ.
If you're about to launch into a lengthy explanation of the metaphysics of your plan, don't bother. I'd rather get on doing with whatever it is that needs to be done if it's all the same to you. Whatever regents must be procured or spells invoked, I'll do it.
I admire your spirit. Very well, your first task will be to gather the necessary materials. The purest of waters and finest of clays, as well as a fey lantern brimming with pixie magic.
If you're convinced the resulting familiar could help the patients, fine. Alfie note, the water and clay will be simple enough, but I think you know what we'll have to do to get the lantern. You don't mean... The pixies took quite a liking to us before. If we humor them with our company, I'm sure they'll be willing to help us. Fine. We'll pay a visit to Ilmeg. Though I never thought that you would be the one to suggest going back there.
I'm impressed you've been there at all, let alone befriended the Fey folk. Oh, while you're about it, seek out the Nu Mou of Plaeni. They will be able to supply you with water suitable for our needs.
Right. Let's get this over with, shall we?
There still remains the matter of the clay. Might I prevail upon you to find it?
I don't know, I kind of want to see what the pixies have to have in mind for the twins.
Hopefully that Leafman.
Probably not.
Clay from Arang would likely be best. Know you of anyone who might be able to assist us?
Clay... Well, I could ask the miners at Twine. Mining involves clay, right?
Ah, yes. They'll be able to point you in the right direction, I am sure. While you and the twins are occupied, I will see if there's aught else I can learn of the stagnation which afflicts the people here.
Green! Oh, what a coincidence! Come at a good time. We just this moment finished repairing the talos and the trolley you lot took to Nabatharang. The trolley was no trouble, but the talos would have been another matter, had we not had a visit from Master Chai. He offered us a share of the leftover building materials from Daedalus Stoneworks, as well as a few trade secrets to help us along. Clever man, that Chai does. Seemed pretty keen on the ideas I had for putting the giant talos to work. Like a giant trolley! And Magnus still refused to see all the good we could do with it. Well, you're entitled to your dreams, Jarek. That doesn't mean you can go harassing our guests with them. Master Chai was just being polite. And something tells me Green here didn't come all this way to talk about trolleys. What is it you need, friend? Well, long story short, I need clay. And see. And this familiar requires clay from Amarang. Well, look no further. If anyone can find you some quality clay, it's us. But saying that isn't likely a commodity nowadays. Must be some lurking somewhere or other, waiting to be dug up. If I'm not mistaken, there was a time when they used to take clay from Mount Biran mines so they could make adobe bricks. Place is swarming with coyotes now, but if you're after the good stuff, you could do worse than to look there.
The twins have returned, and in one piece at that. I was convinced the pixies would at least turn one of them into a garden ornament, but no.
They agree with me.
Yep.
They agree with me.
You have the clay, I take it.
A finely grained soil material found in Amarang.
Wonderful! We need but combine the clay and the water, then heat the mixture with the Fey Lantern. After that, it will be a simple matter of settling upon a suitable form and performing the necessary incantation.
Beq Lugg, I have a question. In the event that we need this spell and you aren't around, would it be possible for another to perform the incantation?
Assuming they possess the requisite skill, yes.
Halric and the others suffer so much, and I swore to do everything in my power to save them. If there's a chance this spell could do that, I would be the one to invoke it.
Mayhap you should be the one to do so. A deep understanding of the subject's physical state, combined with a strong desire to help them, can drastically increase the magic's effect. And you are plainly more familiar with these people than I.
I dare say there are few in all of Nordbrand more dedicated to finding a cure. Is that not so, Green? Absolutely, she's the best woman for the job. I'll give it my all. Or Halric. Or Tesleen. Oh, I miss Tesleen.
And we are all of a mind on the matter. Alice she'll be the one to conjure the familiar.
Let us begin. I trust you've prepared the clay?
Dunk.
Very good. Now, I would have you sculpt for me a porksy. Plump, with floppy ears and a short curly tail.
A porksy. I think I know what you mean.
Maybe we should have asked Alfino to do it instead. He's going with the artistic skills.
There we are. How's that?
Maybe we should have asked Alfinode.
Well, it is certainly creative. There's no denying that.
Yes, I'm no artist. Very funny.
Pay him no mind, child. Though it may look like a grotesque parody of reality, it is what the invoker believes that matters.
Grotesque parody.
You're not helping.
But I speak the truth. If successful, this incantation will turn imagination into reality. Which is why the only thing of import is what you believe this figure embodies. You must focus. Hold the Porksy's image steady in your mind's eye. Now then, as I taught you, relax and allow your energies to flow.
With flesh of clay I bid thee rise, on wings of dreams to touch the skies. What once was idle fantasy, I call forth to reality.
Aw.
I was expecting it to look way off.
Well, that would require
Not bad for a first attempt.
that would require them making a new model for that.
Now, let us see what can be done for young Halric.
They could have also just put a sideways face on it. Then that's not much of a model change.
Maybe.
Through the operation of the magics you invoked to animate this familiar, it is now replete with the energies required to stir the boy's soul. You need but give it a name, and it will do as your heart desires.
A name. All right, I've decided. Now.
Pork
Go,
chop.
Angelo!
Mother, I...
How is he, Beq Lugg? Did it work?
I believe it did. You and your fledgling familiar have done well. If my eyes do not deceive, a hint of color has returned to his soul.
Gods, I would jump for joy if I weren't so exhausted. We're so close now, Halric.
As you are even now in the process of discovering, this magic asks much of the invoker. What you may not have realized is that the same is also true of the subject. As such, we must proceed with caution. However, with further treatment, I have the utmost confidence that the boy will make a full recovery. Observing the reanimation of his stagnant soul has been the most enlightening. I will need time to put my theories to the proof, but I believe I can fashion a spell to produce the opposite effect, that is, to induce stagnation.
Thus enabling our safe transport back to the source via Aurasite. A thought occurred to me about this treatment. It could reverse the tempering of tempered individuals back on the source. Beq Lugg said when the soul is rendered dormant, the mind is separated from the body, that a person becomes incapable of interacting with the world around them. Does that not sound a lot like some of the tempered back in the source? Not really. It is the fate of the most tempered to become slaves to primals, save in a handful of cases. Or am I missing something? If I can master this technique, the art of revitalizing the soul, I know of at least one in the source who could desperately use such treatment. A kobold. Exactly! His condition is uncannily similar to Halric's, is it not? The only difference being that his soul is suffused with earth-aspected ether instead of light. It follows that if his soul is subject to a similar kind of stagnation, there may be a chance we can save him. Right?
Forgive me, but who is this Gabu fellow of whom you speak? I see. His condition does sound similar, yet there is much and more about the soul that remains unknown even to me. I say this not to discourage you, you understand, but to remind you that this is delicate work we do here, work requiring patience.
Of course. And as long as there is hope for their patients here, I will devote whatever time is needed to see this through. But I refuse to spend that time in idleness. If it's all the same to you, I'd like to stay here with Angela and continue with her treatment. The two of you should return to the Crystarium with Beq Lugg and see if you can't make some headway with their newly posited theories.
I would tell you to rest first, but I see you're not to be convinced. Ah, the fire of youth.
Let us return to the Crystarium then. It's Kaishir. Kaishir? What are you doing all the way out here? There's trouble back in Yomor. Lady Chai's beside herself, sighing, pacing the whole lot, near enough begged me to go and find you. Sighing and pacing, you say? It must be urgent.
I take it I'll be returning to the Crystarium alone. Go on then. It's not as if I have anything for you to do.
Thank you, Beq Lugg. Sorry for bothering you and all that, but she says the future of Yomor's at stake. Question is, how seriously can we take that? Lady Chai's up in the parlor. Best not keep her waiting, eh? Well, not here seems out of the ordinary, though I do not see Lady Chai anywhere. Probably pacing around outside again, staring off in the distance and all that, sighing. Strange. Let's see if we can find her and discover the source of her distress.
Oh, thank heavens you're here!
Lady Chai, whatever is the matter?
I knew not where else to turn. Oh, this is all too much for my poor heart to bear alone.
Alone? What of Master Chai?
That is the very reason I summoned you. He's gone.
What? What happened?
It all began after the events at Mount Gulg. With Lord Vorthry out of the way, we all agreed that a new leader must be chosen.
And so you held an election?
Yes, well, sort of. Not a single person volunteered to stand, you see. After a lifetime of leisure, we free citizens have grown somewhat indolent. Readapting to the harsh realities of life is trying enough, but to take charge of a broken city as well? No one wanted such responsibility. Nevertheless, Yulmore could not well do without a leader, and so we decided that anyone and everyone should be considered a candidate. And after we cast our ballots and tallied the votes, the mayorship fell upon my dear husband.
Well, given the manner in which he orchestrated the construction of the giant Talos, none could deny his leadership qualities.
But even before then, he had proven himself at Daedalus Stoneworks, don't forget. He is more than qualified for the role. The perfect choice. Indeed. I told him as much when his victory was first announced. But perhaps I was too forceful in my attempt to encourage him. For shortly after that, he vanished without a word.
You believe he was so daunted by the burden of leadership that he felt compelled to flee? Please, Lady Chai, dry your eyes. Your husband does not strike me as the sort of man who would abandon his duty, much less his beloved wife. There has to be some other reason for his absence.
He's either kidnapped or actually out there doing something for Yulmore.
Probably, yes.
Probably the latter.
You truly think so?
Gotta keep this decadent city afloat.
What about you? What do you think has become of my husband?
I don't know, but whatever it is, he won't have fled.
And there you have it, Lady Chai. You needn't worry. Master Chai loves you more than all the world, and he will return. Wherever he may have gone, rest assured we will find him.
Thank you, my dear boy. You have set my mind at ease. I will trust in my husband and await his return.
It makes no sense for Master Chai to have left without a word. But even if he had, he would not have done so unobserved. Someone here will have seen something, I am sure of it. We should split up and inquire as to anyone saw him leave, or, failing that, if they have any idea where he might have gone. I will meet you at the Glory Gate to compare notes later on.
Must have popped out if I had timing for that.
Yep. Ah, there you are. How did you fare? Have you learned anything which might have offered a clue as to Master Chai's whereabouts? A hastily written note which reads, Boutique of Splendors, willing to work with Master Chai to rebuild businesses. A hastily written note which reads, Yulmore's army, willing to hire recruits from the derelicts in Gate Town. A hastily written note which reads, Colusians, seeking work. Chai News offering employment. Interesting. He apparently paid a visit to Queen Bee as well. They discussed the possibility of granting admission to customers from outside Yulmore, an idea of which the proprietor was surprisingly receptive. Sounds like he got big plans for the place. Yulmore, I mean, not the bee. Perhaps, but the question remains, where did he go after leaving the city? All we know for certain is that Master Chai has shown great concern not only for Yulmore, but its surrounding settlements. It seems logical then, having consulted those within the city walls, he would wish to do the same to those without. Green, if we would go and make inquiries in Rites, I should do likewise in Stilltide. Gate Town I leave to you, Kaishir. Fair enough. Where should we meet when we finished? Well, Top Rung would seem to me his next most likely destination. Let us reconvene there. With any luck, one of us will have stumbled upon him by then, but if not, we will be well situated to continue our search. So he paid a visit to both the Right and Gate Town as well, did he? I see. Kaishir and I gleaned much the same. He seemed determined to salvage what goodwill might yet remain among the settlements of Calusia, the only likely place he has left to go being Amity. Come, if we are quick, we may yet catch up to him.
Green, Alphinaud, Kaishia, what are you doing here?
We might ask you the same, Master Chai. We've been looking all over for you.
Looking for me? Whatever for?
Lady Chai has been nigh inconsolable in your absence. She claimed you disappeared without so much as a word, and bade us return you to her side. What in blazes are you talking about? I left a letter for her in our chambers. Though I suppose she could have overlooked it, then when she gets an idea into her head. I can only apologize. No harm done, Master Chai. But since we are here, might I ask what compelled you to come all this way? You were told you have been elected mayor, and from what we have gathered from the nearby villages, you have been inquiring about the people's grievances. It's safe to assume you mean to take office. Now, let's not jump to conclusions. I did seek to learn about the problems faced by the people of Calusia. That much is true. But I am by no means sure I am the man to solve them. Tackling our many challenges will require resources, and until I have secured them, it would not be right to assume the role of mayor. I see. And you believe said resources can be found here? Indeed. The people's grievances are many, but in the course of my inquiries, I have already met with several individuals willing to lend their aid in addressing them. However, there remains one individual crucial to my plans. A man whose counsel might yet make a mayor of me. With respect, such forethought is, in itself, proof of your suitability. The city needs you, Master Chai, and I am certain this man whom you speak, whoever he may be, will reach the same conclusion. For what little it is worth, we will vouch for you should he require convincing. We believe in you, Master Chai. I don't know what to say. You don't need to say anything. You got your actions to speak for you. For as long as I can remember, all I ever wanted was to make it to Yulmore. But that dream's gone now, burst like a bubble, or a boil more like. Anyway, outside of repaying Master Alphinaud, I haven't had a clue what to do with myself. Spent most of the days in the days, but you? You've been running up and down trying to find a way to fix this mess for everyone. And I reckon you can do it. You got this lot up Mount Gold, didn't you? How hard could marrying be? You're going to see Yulmore to a better future. I know it. And I want to help. Properly help. Do something that makes a difference. I don't know what it is yet, but I'll work it out on the way. If you let me come with you, that is. You give me entirely too much credit, the lot of you. But I can't deny it gives me heart. Come then. Let us press on together. Oh no, I got raided.
Wait,
Thank you,
hello,
Master Chai.
raiders.
Hello. Oh god. We mustn't get ahead of ourselves. Yulmore needs more than a man with good intentions, which is why I am here. Find one with the experience needed to see the city thrive. Who's this man exactly, and are you certain he's here in Amity? Rendon is his name, and yes, he is. Or was. I had scarcely begun to explain myself when he decided his time was better spent elsewhere. He served as a chief advisor to Valthyri's father when he was in office. If Ranjit was the mayor's right hand, one might say Rendon was the left, and between them they kept Yulmore on the road to prosperity. The city needs more than a mere man of business, which is why I must find him. But even if you do, what makes you think he will listen? Before giving chase, might it not be wise to speak with those who know him here in Amity? They may be able to shed some light on his reason for rejecting your overtures out of hand. Yes, I suppose that makes sense. Perhaps we should start with Tristal then. As I recall, you made a rather favorable impression on him. I'm certain he would be willing to talk to us. Greetings, friend. And to you too, Master Chai. I presume you're here to ask after Rendon. Couldn't help overhearing your earlier exchange. Yes, well, with Valthyri gone, Yulmore wants for a leader. Should no one rise to the challenge, the city could very well collapse. I came here seeking Rendon's counsel in the hope that we could build a better Yulmore together, and that is still my wish. But given how abominably you were mistreated there, I will quite understand if you choose not to help. Worry not, Master Chai. I bear no grudge against you or the people of Yulmore. I will not see you suffer for Valthry's villainy. As you no doubt gathered from your meeting earlier, Rendon can be rather uncompromising. He has his principles, you see, and a little patience for anyone he deems less committed to their own. Your desire to right the wrongs of your past, of Yulmore's past, is quite admirable, but I fear the guilt you bear on the city's behalf works against you. I can see it in your eyes, in the way you carry yourself. It goes without saying he sees it as well. You must let those feelings go, Master Chai. Be more assertive, commit to this course, and prove to him Yulmore has the resolve to change. The resolve to change. I believe he was heading towards Pit 8 when he left. If you plan to go and speak with him, I suggest you be firm and clear in your intentions. Very well, to Pit 8 we go, and I will not take no for an answer. Nay, not even a maybe.
Well, it's you again. Well, I see you've invited your friends. Need them to fight your battles for you, do you?
No, I didn't invite them, as it happens, though they are indeed my friends. Well, not only mine, but every true Yulmoran's. They are the ones who awakened us to the truth, to Lord Valthry's villainy, the famous warriors of darkness.
Are they now?
Yes, they are. It would be no exaggeration to call them our saviors. We owe much and more to their kindness, but we cannot depend on that kindness forever. To do so would be a little different from entrusting our affairs to Lord Valthry. Nay, we must learn to stand on our own 2 feet. And I would have them present to witness my attempt.
Hear, hear, Master Chai.
Your sentiments are admirable, yet admirable sentiments do not a nation make. In my capacity as advisor, I once strove to build a better Yulmore. Gave honest counsel to my superiors, drafted laws for the benefit of one and all. But in time, my values fell out of favor. There was no need for them in this paradise Valthry was creating. And so I left my homeland behind. But you, Chai News, you were content to wallow in indolence under Valthry's auspices. And so I cannot help but ask myself what manner of nation you intend to build.
I can offer no simple answer to that question. But this much I will say. It is my hope that Yulmore can become a nation which her citizens might freely choose to build together. A great many people, myself included, flocked to Yulmore seeking sanctuary. The alternative being to live in fear and die in pain. It seemed an easy choice. And sanctuary we found. As much food and drink as we could ever want. Secured at the cost of the surrounding
I'll be right
villages.
back. I have to check on my smoker, make sure
Little
it's still
wonder
going.
the people gathered
Okay.
at
I'm
our
not burning
doorstep,
my house down.
Don't burn your
begging
house
to
down.
work among the bonded.
No promises!
The free were blind to it all, of course. Content to, as you say, wallow in indolence. in ignorance. Were I mayor, I would first take stock of the city's resources and see that they were assigned equitably. Our days of reckless consumption are behind us. The distinction between free and bonded died with Vor 3. The needs of rich and poor alike must be considered if our nation is to survive. To which end I would take steps to secure channels for supplies, rekindle relations with nearby settlements, who re-establish industry, reach out to neighboring nations, and the list goes on and on. But I am no ruler, nor even a politician. I am an entrepreneur. My expertise lie in planning and profit. I haven't the knowledge or experience to run a nation. Please, Rendon, will you not help me? Together, we could solve the city's problems. Build a Yulmore for the people.
A Yulmore for the people.
I'm back,
I rather
and
like the sound
it's
of
still
that.
going.
Yep. Oh, do you mean the smoker?
Yes, it is. Which
But before I
makes
offer
even
you
more
my
flavor.
counsel, I would be certain
Also, that I
of
might
your
not have
ability
to,
perform the duties
post
of
cook it, I
office.
guess.
You would? You ask me to help you solve Yulmore's problems. But first, I would see you solve one on your own. Accomplish that, and you will prove both to me and the people that you are a man worth following.